Welcome to the Healthpreneurpodcast. My name is Uriel Kame, New York Times bestselling author, former professional athlete, and founder of Healthpreneur, the world's leading company helping health and fitness experts start and scale high-end coaching businesses. If you want to attract more clients, learn how to convert them without feeling salesy, and deliver an amazing program for them on the back end, if you want to be inspired by what others just like you have gone through and how you can do the same no matter what life throws your way, then you are in the right place, because every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to be bringing you the best to help you take your knowledge and expertise to the next level with your health or fitness coaching business. And if you enjoy what you see and hear and would like to take your business to the next level, then I invite you to check out our free online training over at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. And for now, let's get into today's episode. Hey, welcome back. Yuri here. Welcome back to the show. Hope your day is going great. It's about to get a little bit better, or maybe a lot better. So today's conversation, I'm going to be talking with you about climbing your success ladder. So what does that really mean? Let me put it this way. It's very easy to know where someone is at in their business based on the questions that they ask. And so I want you to listen to this. And I want you to listen to this episode as a diagnostic tool to help you identify where you are at in your business. So let me give you an example. I would say about 60% of clients that we work with are brand new to business, right? So they just got their certification, or they are randomly doing stuff in their quote unquote business that really isn't a business. And now we're helping them build something that is more of a business. And so a lot of the initial questions that people at this stage start asking is technical questions. Like, how do I set up this page? What widget do I use? What technology, like all the tech questions. When someone is overwhelmed in tech, you know that they are at the beginning stages of their business for the most part, okay? Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just understanding that at that stage of business, there is a lot of foundational stuff that needs to be built. Understanding what this page should look like, how it integrates with this platform. And one of the things that we do for our clients to alleviate some of that tech is we actually build out their tech for them so that they don't have to spend a lot of time. Ideally, we want them spending no time in the tech, but obviously everyone has, their tendencies. But our goal is to take that off the table so that they can focus on really what matters most, which is their messaging and their offer. So as you climb this ladder, and when I say ladder, I'm talking about the journey of your business. You get into next level discussions, which if we're talking at the base level about how do I set up this page, or what technology do I use here, at one end of the spectrum, the opposite end of the spectrum is, how do I scale this business? How do I scale myself? How do I bring other people on this team? How do I lead a group of people to now allow me to step out of my business and to scale our company to $5 million, $10 million, $100 million a year? That's a very, very different level of discussion than what web page do I set up, or how do I write a headline? And there's nothing wrong with either one. Like, you just have to, I think it's helpful to identify where you are at. So one of the things that I had to make a decision around was, so we have two core offers. We have our Health Business Accelerator program, which is where we help people from ground zero to earning 10K a month in 6 months or less. That's our goal with the program. Or adding an additional 10K per month or more to their bottom line by helping them build out their perfect client pipeline, okay? So that's our initial program. It is phenomenal. Now, we can only do so much in that program without overwhelming people, right? And my goal is never to overwhelm our clients, but we also understand that there's gonna be people, our clients, who get to a point where they're like, listen, okay, I got it, I'm good. Now I'm too busy. I need to move myself out of this picture. How do I scale my sales team? How do I scale my coaching? How do I structure my company? That is stuff that I can't talk about in the workshop, because it wouldn't make sense if people are talking about, like, how do I set up this web page? And then we're having discussions about structuring your company. It's just way too different. And so that's why we have our Luminaries Mastermind. So our Luminaries Mastermind is helping people in our space, health fitness coaches, who are doing 6 figures and want to get to 7 and beyond. So the big difference there is that, yes, they're like your perfect client pipeline, you can do a lot of great stuff with that. But there are things that we can't do in the initial workshop based on time, the level of where people are at, that we can do in the Luminaries that are going to amplify the results of everything we did in the workshop to continue adding consistent streams of revenue, new clients through that pipeline. There's next level strategies we can look at to really amplify and scale your business. And the discussions are very different. The conversations are another level, and they should be. The challenge I ran into, so when I started the mastermind 2 years ago, and it actually came out of necessity. I had 2 clients individually who didn't know each other started asking me for one-on-one coaching. And I said, listen, like I can't stand one-on-one coaching. I suck at it. But why don't I do this? Why don't we put together a mastermind, and you guys will be the first 2 clients, and I'll figure out how to fill the rest of it. Sound good? And so we did that. We worked together for 12 and 16 months respectively. Initially, the group was fairly small. I think we started out as 4 people. It grew to 25 in the first year. And our first client, Amanda, is now doing more than $1 million a month. We had her on the podcast. Steven Cabral, another one of my first clients, is absolutely crushing it with his business. His business is so busy, he actually had to step down from the mastermind because it was just it was overwhelming. Okay, so it was a good problem to have for him. Anyways, but we had a lot of people who came into the mastermind who at the time, in retrospect, probably should not have been in the mastermind because I wasn't clear on the differentiation between the two, the workshop and the mastermind. And what ended up happening was that people who should have been in the workshop should have been in the workshop, and people who should have been in the mastermind should have been in the mastermind. But these are things you learn as you go, right? So you kind of make mistakes, you course correct. And we had to part ways with a couple clients. In full transparency, I don't think the mastermind was set up properly. Personally, for me, I could have done a much better job in terms of the delivery of the coaching, the content. Like our meetings that we had 3 times a year were amazing, but kind of in between that is a little bit disheveled. And so what I decided to do last year was we focused 100% on the workshop. And we said, we're going to dial this bad boy in so we can scale it. And I think last year we brought in close to 300 clients at a relatively high price point, okay? And we only did the workshop. And I said, I'm going to put the mastermind on the back burner because I know that of these 300 clients, the vast majority of them are not ready for the mastermind. They're not going to be ready for the mastermind for at least the next 6 to 12 months. And so I was willing to take a step back with the mastermind. I kind of compromised the effort I put into that. I was still serving, the clients that we had in there, but in terms of growing it, there wasn't much effort there. As we set our goals for 2019, we realized that we had our workshop really dialed in, and obviously we're always doing things to make it a bit better. But I said, my focus for this year is to grow our Luminaries Mastermind to 200 members. That's a very ambitious goal, okay? Very ambitious goal, considering, it's a sizable investment. So my vision was, let's use the workshop to help elevate all of these amazing entrepreneurs and coaches who are, let's call them in the minor leagues. And let's cultivate them, let's help them get success, and let's ascend them to the pros. And the pros, in our case, is our mastermind. So I recognized that was probably going to be, I was going to have to kind of go backwards 12 to 16 months to take a step back to cultivate and bring these people up to the point where they could be in the mastermind if obviously it made sense for both of us. And by that point, we are now having higher level discussions. We're now having conversations about, listen, I'm doing 5 or 6, 7 phone calls a day to enroll clients. It's great, but I'm going to burn myself out. How do I start building a sales team around me? I've done that. We've 4 enrollment coaches who do all the calls for me. I don't do any calls anymore. We've got an amazing team of coaches who do most of the coaching in our program. I don't have to do a lot of coaching. I love what I do, but I don't have to, it's not me and 300 clients. So The cool thing is that because I can't introduce that stuff early on, because no one's at that level to make sense of it, we introduce that later on in the mastermind. So what does this mean to you? Well, I want you to think of this. When you are working with your clients, you need to be very clear. That initial program you're offering needs to have a very singular, focused promise. Our promise in HPA is we're going to help you build your perfect client pipeline up to the point where you can add an additional or an initial $10,000 or more per month within 6 months. That's how the program is designed. Does everyone get there? No. Sadly, some people take forever to get some simple things done, right? They start second guessing themselves and all this kind of stuff. And that's the challenge and opportunity of working with people early on in their business. It's a lot easier for me to work with someone who's already doing 6 figures and give them a couple tweaks and boom, they're making $1 million a month. That is very easy for me to do. But we decided as a company, we want to be able to help someone who is brand spanking new, who has, as long as they have expertise and they've got work ethic, we can build them up. And we know that it's going to be a more challenging road. But we also know that it makes us better as coaches. It forces us to systemize things better. It forces us to make our trainings better and easier to understand so that we don't get lazy and expect everyone to understand this stuff. So in your business, you need to figure out first and foremost, and this is the first thing we do with our clients in HPA, is you need to figure out who is that single target market? Who's that perfect client for you? And what is the major problem that they're dealing with? So this is another example is, for me, it's very easy to see this stuff because I've been doing this for almost 15 years now. But for a lot of other people, they don't see this stuff. They're looking at it through different lenses. My goal is to empower as many people as possible to think like a marketer, like a CEO eventually. And you have to put on different goggles at different stages of your business. Initially, you have to become the marketer. Like, you have to sell for the first while in your business. You got to generate income. But as you scale to 7, 8 figures, you don't necessarily do that as much anymore. And you might evolve into putting on the goggles of a CEO, or maybe you don't even want to be CEO. You just want to be like the content person and you hire someone else to be the CEO. But initially, you can't even think about that stuff until you make sales, right? So initially you got to master selling, you got to really be good at marketing and messaging and so forth. And that's the first thing you need to really figure out in your business is, who is the single target market? What is the single major pain or problem that they want solved? Getting healthy is not good enough. Getting fit is not good enough. It's not going to work, especially if you're charging premium prices. Nobody is going to give you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to help them get healthy. But you need to figure out what is really keeping them up at night. And the good news is that if you've been coaching clients in person or one-on-one, you've been having these discussions with them already. So you don't need to do surveys and market data and kind of stuff. You already know this stuff because you've been working with clients most likely. So figure out who's the single audience. Because if you don't figure out a single audience, here's what's going to happen. You end up having a bunch of one-on-one clients with different problems, and now your messaging is all over the place. I help people with this. I help people get healthy and feel great again. Great. So does everybody else. You don't stand out. You don't differentiate yourself. Therefore, you're not going to be able to command premium prices. When you're on the phone with someone, they're like, yeah, let me think about it. What they're saying is, I don't think you can solve my problem, because a lot of other people, including that $20 book, can do that. So you need to figure out the major pain. Like, someone's got to get on the phone with you because they're in a very bad situation. And if they're not in a very bad situation, you need to filter those people out so they don't get on the phone with you in the first place. So we could talk about this for hours. Quite honestly, this episode could go on for 7 hours. But I just want to kind of bring things back in for a second. And I want you to think to yourself, where am I in my business? Am I somebody who is still trying to figure out like the technology, or am I at a point now where I'm starting to craft better messaging and better offers? Am I at a point where sales are coming in, clients are coming in, and I'm starting to get a little bit overwhelmed, and I'm starting to think of, how do I clone myself? How do I build a team? How do I build a great company? Right? Because the conversations at those different points in your business are going to be different. So what I would love for you to do is pop over to Instagram and find me at Healthpreneur1. And I'd love for you to send me a direct message. Just be like, hey, Yuri, listen to this episode, Climb Your Success Ladder. It was really cool. Or it sucked. Whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter to me. Let me know. Send me a direct message. Just let me know what stage of business you're in. Like, where are you at in your business? And what is the biggest challenge you're currently dealing with? Now, if you're one of our clients, you don't need to send me that because I speak with you pretty much every day. So we're all good. But if you're just a listener, then hit me up on Instagram. Cool. So hope this episode has helped you out. Hopefully it's giving you some food for thought. I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. We'll be actually talking about the one objection that is crushing your business and your clients. If you're on the phone and this objection's coming up, it will sabotage your business. Okay, so that's coming your way on Monday. Do not miss that one. In the meantime, hope you have an amazing day. Hit me up on Instagram and I'll see you soon. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the Healthpreneur Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, here's what I'd like you to do right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Healthpreneur Podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, leave us a rating or review. It helps us get in front of more people and change more lives. And if you're ready to start or scale your health or fitness coaching business and want to start getting in front of more people, working with them at a higher level without trading time for money, then I invite you to check out our free 7-figure health business blueprint training, totally free right now. And you can do so at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. For now, thank you so much for joining us. Continue to be great, do great, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.